When did you first encounter him?
In 1981.
Okay, I was -2. Nobody asked me, sorry. And in what context? Were you a convert? Were you...
Well, the context was my honeymoon. Just like anybody else, when they start reading Chesterton, they're usually on their honeymoon. Uh-huh. And I was a Baptist at the time.
Okay.
And like any good Baptist, I honeymooned in Rome.
This is great.
Yeah. And I brought my wife with me, which was just great to have her with me on the honeymoon. And we were there on the day that Pope John Paul II was shot.
I did not see this coming. Okay, all right. There's so much to unpack here. All right, I want to get to the Pope last. So you were a Baptist. Why did you choose Rome? Just because it's beautiful. A lot of history.
Yeah, my wife was actually born in Italy, and that was another good reason to bring her with me on the honeymoon, because she could speak the language. It was much easier to get from one side of the street to the other by having her with me. And we eventually made our way up to northern Italy, where her relatives lived. And so I got to visit her relatives. But we started in Rome, and we happened to be there the day that the great John Paul was shot.
All right, you got to tell me about it. Where were you? How did you hear about it? What was Rome like?
Being on our honeymoon, we were tourists. We weren't pilgrims. She was not a practicing Catholic. She got married in the Baptist church with moi. And we were visiting the Church of St. Peter in Chains and looking at Michelangelo's statue of the Moses, which is one of the great sculptures of all time, and taking this in. And then they tell us the Pope has just been shot, and everyone's in shock, of course. And our hotel was only 3 blocks from the Vatican, from St. Peter's Square. And if we had known he was going to make a public appearance, I'm sure we would have gone, because that would have been, an interesting highlight of the honeymoon to see the Pope, even though it was just another tourist curiosity, another marble statue for us, right? And we were told by the group giving us the tour, saying, we can't drive you back to your hotel. You're too close to St. Peter's. You're going to have to walk back. And Matt, I don't think I ever got my money back now that you bring that up. Yeah. But we walked back and saw the total chaos all around us. It was unbelievable. And yet, as we walked, it all dissipated. It was like a storm calming, and everybody went inside to watch TV to find out what the news was. And the streets of Rome were empty, and we had the whole city to ourselves.
Wow.
It was a once in a lifetime, once in a millennium opportunity to walk through Rome when it was empty.
Wow.
And we were on our honeymoon, so we were having a great time.
Did you have a kind of peripheral interest in John Paul II, just as a sort of celebrity before that point? Did you know of any of his accomplishments as a poet or a philosopher or a playwright?
Nah.
No, none of that.
None of that.
What about just like an important figure on the world stage? Like,
I knew he was the Pope. Yeah. I knew that.
So were you interested over the coming days as to what had happened, or was it just a bit of news?
I mean, everyone's mystified. Why would anyone shoot the Pope? We were really flummoxed by why would anyone would shoot. What are you trying to accomplish by shooting the Pope? Because, for us good Baptists, the Pope's a good guy, more or less.
Yeah.
And shooting him, that's just a bad move. That's just bad form. And we couldn't get our heads around why he would want to do it. But then, as things unfold, this was one of the most interesting things. 2 days later, walking through Rome, you could buy postcards at kiosks with the Pope waving from his hospital bed 2 days later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Capitalism is alive.
Well,
and
that's, being good non-Catholics, we were saying, yeah, that's the Catholic Church right there. They're going in on this. But
I was just in Italy last year. I was interviewing a fella called Cameron Bertuzzi, who had announced his conversion to the Catholic faith, and we were on top of EWTN Studios building overlooking the Vatican. It was lovely.
Yes.
But that night, my mate and I said, well, let's rent some of those scooters. You use the app, it unlocks the scooter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Turns out it's a terrible idea on cobblestone.
Oh, see, your feelings kind of rattled. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was still amazing. I mean, it was kind of like what you said. I felt like we had all of St. Peter's and all of Rome to ourselves. We're just going around.
On your scooters, yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.